Hi, okay, so I'm going to be doing a mermaid type thing, and if the thingy's weird, if like the filming is weird, I'm sorry, I have to hold my camera while I do this, because my tripod, or not even my tripod, I don't even have a tripod, my thing that I use for filming is too high up above my desk, and so I cannot, it's just too high up and you won't be able to see what I'm drawing. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be drawing my characters as mermaids. And so I've done one sketch, not a sketch, I've done a full piece of my character Niccolo as a mermaid. So I think today we're only going to be doing, since I've already done Niccolo, I'm probably going to be doing Desu and Eric's, doing the boys today, and then we'll do the girls maybe next week, maybe, I don't know. So I have a time lapse of that and I will put it in the video. So that's, I need to remind myself to do that. So, and also this is going to be kind of like a lore dump thing about my characters. So I may do something for Niccolo, I don't know, maybe do like voiceover or something for Nick, but I don't know. Anyway, so I think the first one I'm gonna do is Eric's. So this is gonna be so weird. Alright, so Eric's is probably my, like, not my, he's like my newest of the guys' characters, I think, but I honestly, he's kind of like my favorite. So I've never drawn mermaids before, so this should be interesting. I mean, of course I've done the Niccolo one, but not a lot of mermaids before Niccolo. That head's a little bit too big. But Eric's is one of my favorite characters from my story. Niccolo and Eric's are two of my favorites. Eric's is 17? Yeah, he's 17. He's 17. And he, like Niccolo, is a werewolf. So but he's also, he can turn when he wants. He can turn into a werewolf when he wants. He's not like, you know, stuck in the moon cycle. And he is kind of, later on, becomes kind of like Niccolo's mentor, kind of, to like help control his turning, to help control Niccolo's turning. Because Niccolo does not know how to turn like on command, but Eric's is the one who's gonna help him like hone his skills, I guess. I don't really know how to say that, but yeah, Eric's, he's been through a lot. Nothing that haven't, you know, made him go through, but, you know, he is a traumatized boy. I've kind of been debating about when this happened, because I don't know, because the timeline seems a little bit weird for him. But when he was younger, he was turned. He was turned young. Niccolo was turned fairly recently, but Eric's turned young, so that gave him time to really, you know, learn how to hone his skills, I guess, and like learn how to control himself, things like that. But when he turned, he got a lot of scars. from the one who attacked him. I haven't really figured out who should have attacked him and turned him, but the werewolf, it scratched his eye and his face up, caused him to go blind in that one eye. So, I don't know how to draw hands, but he became blind in that one eye, and it also scratched up this part of his face. So, like I said, he became blind in that one eye, and he turned, obviously, but his family was really, you know, helpful with that. They helped him, you know, become, no, wait, that's not true. Never mind, forget the whole thing about the family. Okay, so before he turned, his family, he has younger twin siblings and his parents. And when Eric's was out one day, somebody came and burned his house down. And killed his family in the fire. I don't know if I can say that on the YouTube, but anyway, they stopped them from existing. How about that? And he came home, he found the house, but the one who burned the house down was still there. So he quickly hid into the rubble, and he also got burned a lot, and he got more scars. But this is before he got turned. He got some burn scars on him, and he got scratched up by the rubble. And the one who burned the house down, Harlow, I think I named him Harlow. Yeah, Harlow. Or Dane, as I call him. His middle name is Dane, so I call him Dane. Dane, like, vowed that he was going to get revenge on that guy. So, which is the whole, hold on just a second. Which is the whole reason he started out and that kind of stuff. And then later he got turned. But, which is also kind of how he met Niccolo and Morgan, but I will get to that in a second. But he's really self-conscious about his scars. He knows that, you know, a lot of people aren't really accepting of people with, like, you know, who are different than them. And so, I mean, he has double that because he is a werewolf and because he is, you know, physically different than somebody else, you know. He has the scars and he has the, you know, I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, never mind, just oh god, this is gonna be fun to edit. Anyway, but yeah, he knows kind of firsthand how that happens and like why people are so judgmental of him. But anyway, and so for a while he was moving around a lot. He moved around a lot, and because he didn't have, you know, he didn't have a home, obviously. And he, you know, he just kept moving and kept tracking Harlow, but he never killed him. And because I guess he knew he just didn't have the guts to do it, but he knew that he wanted, like, he wanted to, but he just never did. And so he just kept, because that's the thing, if he killed him, he wouldn't have anything else to go to. He wouldn't have any, like, backup plan, kind of. That was like what his life was dedicated to. He couldn't, you know, he didn't have a home, so he just never got rid of him. And so he just kept tracking him, kept following him, until he came upon Niccolo and Morgan, who was captured by Harlow. And they were going to take Niccolo and Morgan to the Queen. But that's a whole other thing. But Eric's did save them, and they started on their own merry way. But, Eric's is very, you know, shy, standoffish. He's kind of like the grumpy one of the group. He's just like, whatever, as long as we're, you know, he kind of thinks like everybody else is stupid, because like he trusts himself very much, and he trusts his own intuition, but he knows that not everyone, the rest of the group doesn't know really the true definition of like hardship, kind of, but that's not true because Medesu has had a hard life. But so he kind of is just like, I know what I'm talking about, and I don't want anybody else to think that I don't, kind of situation. And so he can come off as a real, you know, know-it-all, and like, oh, you know, whatever. But he's actually very sweet. He, you know, has a soft spot for like animals, because he spent a lot of time in the woods on the run, so he takes care of animals. He has a soft spot for like, you know, abandoned animals, for homeless animals, that kind of thing. So he's very secretly soft-hearted, and very sweet, and very kind. I'm stalling because I do not want to draw his hands. But he's a sweetheart, but he, you know, he doesn't really want anybody to know that he is, kind of deal. He wants to have like his reputation, all that kind of stuff, but he's sweet. I don't even know what these designs are. I'm just designing. But kind of curve that one up. Okay, I'm trying to think of more things to say for him. Okay, well, he's very self-conscious, like I said. He's very self-conscious about his scars. He normally wears a lot of like layers, long sleeve clothes, you know. He doesn't, although a lot of times I draw him in a sleeveless turtleneck, but he wears a lot of like long sleeve clothes, anything that covers up his scars. And he's very, I would think that he wouldn't look anybody in the eye when he was talking, because he does have his one bad eye, and his face is all scarred up. So I do, you know, he kind of ducks his head when he's talking to people. Him and Niccolo are kind of like partners in crime, though, because they're kind of, you know, Niccolo's the goofy one, so Eric's has to kind of be the one that's like, keep him in check and be like, no, this is what we're supposed to be doing. Please stop like pulling pranks, and really just like stick with what we're, you know, doing, please, because I don't want to have to. Hold on 1 second. Okay, sorry, my mom was calling me. Anyway, okay, so he's very, you know, Niccolo is kind of the goofy one, and so Eric's has to, you know, keep him in check and be like, no, this is what we're supposed to be doing. This is, you know, I don't want to have to babysit you right now. So he's, you know, kind of controlling. Like I said, he knows what he's supposed to be doing, and he kind of thinks he knows what others are supposed to be doing, because he's kind of a loner, and so he doesn't really work well with groups. But, ooh, that ear is, no. But, I also kind of have like a thing where his voice kind of got messed up during the fire, so it's kind of hoarse and like ragged and like, you know, kind of hard to understand, and so he doesn't really talk a lot. He's kind of self-conscious about that. He doesn't really, he's also very, you know, self-aware, so he doesn't scare people, you know, especially children. He would hate to scare children because he did have, you know, his younger siblings who he absolutely loved, and so he doesn't want to scare children. So he usually tries to like wear like an eye patch or like, you know, a mask when he goes into town, so he doesn't scare any children, because he knows that he, you know, a lot of people don't really normally see somebody with, you know, scars and a lot of that kind of stuff. But you know, like, people obviously, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like, I guess he just doesn't really understand that like people who would actually, oh, I am so sorry, people who would actually like care to like get to know him would like care about his scars or like, you know, his voice or whatever. Like his friends, he doesn't quite understand that like they don't care about that. Like they know they care about him and they love him, but he doesn't really understand that because he doesn't really I don't know, he's very complex. I spent a lot of time like building and thinking about like headcanons for my own characters, but anyways, he's, you know, he's a sweetheart. He's really kind and sweet and all that kind of stuff, but I need to work on his face. I'm going to do anything to try to not do those hands. I do not want to do the hands. But I'm trying to think of more things to say. He wants a family of his own one day. He's very like touch-starved, I guess, because like he spent a majority of his life, not a majority of his life, but like a lot of his time in the woods alone, not around other people. He doesn't know how to kind of talk to people. He only really knows how to talk to animals because he's, you know, like I said, he's very like socially awkward, socially anxious, and very self-conscious about himself. So if this is weird, I'm sorry. I'm desperately trying to see his face so I can do his eyes. I've been doing like a lot of these cute little like almost like chibi faces. I don't know, but okay, I guess I can like describe what he looks like, I guess. Like, okay, so think of like the stereotypical like cartoon like villains faces, like the very long, slender, sharp faces, like the high cheekbones, all that kind of stuff. That's basically Eric's. He has, you know, he's very tall. I mean, he's not he's short compared to the other two, because like Niccolo is like, how tall is Niccolo? Niccolo is like what, 6'1", 6'2", and Medesu I think is like 6 even, and he's 5'11". So compared to the other two, he is a small boy, but you know, he's tall, kind of lanky. He, oh my god, all my words just left my brain. Oh my god, what? I am so sorry. Once I get in a groove, I will just ramble, but if I think about talking, it'll just like all go away. But what was I trying to say? Okay, what he was looking like, that's right. Okay, he's, like I said, he's tall, lanky, he's slender, but he's very muscular though. He does spend a lot of his time, you know, working out, trying to, you know, do a lot of hone his skills as, you know, kind of a survivalist, because that's basically kind of all he knows. He has short hair. He used to have long hair, but he did cut it because, I don't know, I guess he was just like, it's too much maintenance out in the woods, and he was like trauma cut. You know how like all the people like on movies, like if they go through some sort of trauma, oh my god, they'll like trauma cut their hair. And I like twisted it and like diverged it when she left, but like yeah, all that kind of stuff. It's basically a trauma haircut. But yeah, he cut his hair after he turned, or after his, you know, family died. Hold on, just I need to know where all his scars are, real quick. Okay. Okay, sorry. He has, his hair is like dark brown. Kind of like a, almost black, but it is brown. He has green eyes. And just to be edgy, when I was making him, I was like, ooh, what if they're chartreuse and chartreuse emerald green? But that doesn't really make sense. But they're just green. They're just green eyes. But of course, his one eye is, you know, the slightly milkier, duller green. All right. Oh, I guess I have to do his hands now. I don't want to. Ooh, what if we give him some of these? Like the little fins on his arms. That's cool. Alright, like I said, I will do it. I will procrastinate my way into not doing his hands. Anyway, but he has these chartreuse eyes. Not chartreuse, I'm just gonna say green. Fine, green. He has green eyes. Oh my god, this is a disaster. He meets somebody later on. I don't really know, I haven't really figured out how they will meet, but I do know that they will meet. That's the one thing. Ooh, shocking. But and they kind of have like a slow burn, kind of like enemies to lovers type deal. But it's not like enemies, they just like make fun of each other and they irritate each other, basically. That's about all they do. But I'm trying to figure out a pose to do his hands in. But I guess it's just like, that's good. Oh my god, no, it's not good. Ew. Anyway, but her name is Emery, and she's you know, relatively new. I know she was in one of my past sketchbooks that I've toured. I think she was in, I think she was in number 7. I think I made her number 7. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in number 7. Okay. I think that is Eric's. But, basically, they fall in love. He doesn't really, she kind of falls first, I guess. And so they kind of, you know, of course they fall in love, all that kind of stuff, but she falls first because he's scared, right? He doesn't, all of his relationships kind of end with death. That's kind of why he doesn't want to get close to his friends, because he's scared something will happen to them. So he doesn't really want to get close to her. He does like her, but he doesn't want to get close to her because he knows how his relationships in the past have ended. And so, you know, it's kind of like a back and forth thing. He calls her spoiled. She calls him sassy, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like, it's very cheesy that I'm saying it. But, you know, at the moment I was like, I mean, it's still like sweet, but like, you know, it's kind of cheesy. But anyway, I guess I'll move on to Medesu. I don't have a lot of lore for Medesu. I basically just focus on Niccolo and Eric's, and it's kind of favoritism, but whatever. So that's Eric's. That's not horrible. I like it. It's cute. His little face. So cute. Focus. Oh my god, it's not focusing. Anyway, he's cute. Anyway, alright. Here, let me show you a more recent sketch of him so you get an idea of what he looks like normally. Eric's. I am so sorry. Oh my god. Okay, here he is. Here's Eric. I posted this on my Instagram. He's very cute. And then there he is again. And there's Niccolo. Anyway, is there anything else here? No. Okay, here's a really edgy thing I drew, but I think it's like supposed to be where what did I say? I think it's supposed to, all the flowers are supposed to be where his scars are, and you know, edgy stuff. Guys, it's 3 a.m. What? Okay. Anyway, okay. So I kind of started on another page because I wanted this for something else. So Eric's. Now I guess we should go on to Medesu. Like I said, I don't have a lot of lore for him, so if I just kind of anyway, there's like silence for a little bit. I'm sorry. I don't know what else pose I should do. Give me 1 second. I found a pose I liked. Alright, so anyway, Medesu. He is he is like the main character of this. Honestly, it's kind of funny because I started with him as the main character and now I'm just like, oh, but I love Niccolo and Eric's way more. Oh my gosh, it's a problem, but you know, what ifs. But I'm going to try to draw this pose. It's a little bit complicated, but I'm going to try my hardest. Okay, so Medesu is a elf, and he is also a thief. He makes his living as a thief. I know, such original ideas. Elf thief. But he's an orphan, and his father was like the leader of his little gang, but after his father died, the rest of the gang left and it was just Medesu. And so he really had nobody else. He kind of went his own way, did his own thing, whatever. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, I was just seeing how I drew his nose from the side, but he tried to do his best as a thief by himself, and I mean, he did pretty good. He survived, whatever. But what he doesn't know is, I don't want to like spoil anything because I'm hoping to like make this into like an actual story, like a comic one day. But you know, whatever. You know what? It's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it. So basically, he is a okay, you know what, never mind. I'm gonna go back a little bit. his father, he met this woman, right, and they fell in love, and they had a child together, and it was Medesu's mother. What his father did not know was that was the queen, and I haven't really figured out like what the queen was doing around the area that they lived in, but it was the queen. And so basically Medesu is a prince, and he doesn't know it yet, and the queen doesn't know about his existence, right? His father tried to hide him from the queen because he wanted to raise Medesu as, actually no, the queen didn't want Medesu, and his dad, and she like abandoned them, and she left Medesu with his dad. And so, you know, his father had to raise him by himself. He was poor, so he resorted to, you know, being a thief. He raised Medesu in that life. He taught him everything he knew, all that kind of stuff. So basically, he is a prince, but he just doesn't know it yet. And the queen has been sending her guards to like attack or like kind of try to get rid of people or like kids who are Medesu's age. And I think he's like 16, 17. I think Eric's is the oldest, so he's probably like 16. So she's trying to get rid of all these kids, but nobody knows why, because she hasn't made, you know, that part of her life public yet. So nobody knows that Medesu is actually a prince. Nobody, like, where he lives knows he's a prince, all that kind of stuff. And so she sends out her guards to attack and leave for dead all these kids that are Medesu's age. Like I said, nobody knows why these attacks are happening, and nobody can trace it back to the queen. So, hold on one second, I need to look at my reference. Okay, so I kind of went off the deep end. Anyway, so, like I said, nobody knows why the queen is attacking all these random people, or all these random kids, and Medesu gets attacked. And again, nobody knows, even the guards don't even know that that's the queen's son. And he's the prince. And so, like I said, they're just attacking random people. She just orders them to attack these kids. And she knows who Medesu is. But she knows his name, but she doesn't know who he is or what he looks like. So again, she's just attacking all these random kids. But, so Medesu gets attacked, and his attackers just drop him out of random person's doorstep. And it is Dasa's. She is a wood elf, and she, you know, helps him, she takes care of him, all that stuff. So, you know, oh boy, oh my gosh, I cannot think of anything right now. That tail is mighty big. But so, you know, they talk, they introduce themselves, they become friends very quickly. And, you know, spoiler, they become an item, they fall in love, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, but, so, that happens. And then guards surround her house, and these are not the same guards who attacked him. These are the ones, just like random village ones, who have been trying to capture Medesu for stealing. And so they Dasa helps Medesu escape, but the guards burn down her house. And so they escape, and they go on, whatever, and they the whole story, okay, the first part of the story, all the characters, you know, whatever, start on their way. And for some, my story is called The Wanted because in one way, shape, or form, all of them are wanted for something, right? So Medesu is wanted for thieving? Oh my gosh. Thieving, because he's a thief. Dasa is wanted because she helped him. Let me see. Niccolo is wanted because he helped Morgan escape, and that's a whole other thing. Eric's, what is Eric's wanted for? Oh right, Eric's is wanted by Harlow because Harlow finally figures out that he's still alive, and he tries to off Eric's too. So, and then Emery, I think Emery, like, okay, my running thing for Emery, how Emery and Eric's met, is that Emery works for the queen, works in the castle, and so they finally go to the castle, and that's when Medesu finds out that the queen is his mother and he's the prince, and they all kind of stay there for a little while, and Eric's and Emery finally meet, all that kind of stuff, but Emery leaves, and so she's wanted by the queen, you know, that kind of stuff. So all of them are wanted in some way, shape, or form. I guess I'm gonna have to record a voiceover for Niccolo. But this is, you know, Medesu and Eric's. You know what? I might decorate this page too because it's looking a little bland. So I'm going to decorate it. I don't have any. I didn't bring my markers. Okay, so I guess paint is our only option now. Okay, hold on. Let me grab my paint. Okay, so ignore how absolutely hideous my paint palette is, but I found this really kind of, it's honestly kind of tacky, but it's like a metallic green. So I'm going to be painting in the, you know, the spots in between the characters. So, you know, it's really weird like talking about my characters because for the longest time they've just kind of been like chilling in my brain and in my sketchbooks, and like nobody really knows who they are except like me and like my sister, but like my sister really doesn't know who they are either because, you know, whatever. But it's really weird because like they're very personal to me. Like all my characters are very personal to me. I think I've said this before. I think in my last thing where I talked about my characters with Adair. But you know, especially Adair, because he was my first character, and you know I honestly put a lot of work into his design and a lot of thought into it, and I try to do that too, like, you know, designing and like, you know, symbolism, all that kind of stuff in my character work, because like I said, they're very close to me and they're very personal and all that kind of stuff. So, but I try, like, okay, with Eric's, I try to put a lot of like moon symbolism in his work and like his designs and all that kind of stuff. Like he has his weapons, he uses crescent moon sides, they look like crescent moons, and he has a moon earring, all that kind of stuff. And so, like, you know, I try to put a lot of work into what they look like, the personalities, all that stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate if I don't talk. Ooh, that is clean. Ignore me just, you know, rambling about nothing, honestly. I haven't been getting a lot of views at all. Like, my first couple videos did really well, honestly. They did like a lot more than I actually expected. But the other ones, they just, I don't know. They didn't do as well. I think it's just my family watching them at this point. it's kind of, you know, down-putting. Not down-putting, like, you know, discouraging. Because at some point I do want to, like, start making money from this. So I can actually afford good art supplies instead of tacky, crappy, metallic green paint to fill in my sketchbooks. I actually do like these paints though. They've lasted me a long time. I think for like 2 years. I think I got them for Christmas, but just want to skin. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but it's really quite pleasing to hear a little ch-ch-ch-ch. Also, I haven't been getting any comments at all, which I didn't really expect. So probably, maybe, how about this? All of you who actually watch this, drop some like headcanons. Drop a comment down below. No, I mean yes, but like not that stupid. But put little like headcanons and stories that you have down below. Make memes about them. Oh my god, please make memes about them. And if you want, you can even draw fan art of them. Not fan, oh my god, that made me sound so pretentious. You can draw them too if you want, and please, 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 please. You know what, you can actually, if you want to draw them and put it on Instagram and tag me in it so I can see it. That'd be so cool. Cause I've done like a collaboration before with Rainy Art on Instagram, and they drew my character. They drew Eric's, and I thought it was so cool and so bizarre because I'd never seen anybody draw my character besides me in my own art style. And so it was really weird seeing, you know, Eric's in their style. So yes, please, please, please comment on this so I can actually afford a tripod and actually get a tripod so I can, you know, actually use both hands while drawing, because this is really awkward. But I actually like using, like, taking the camera, like, using it with my actually hand instead of like propping it up on something for the sketchbook stuff, so I can actually get like in depth and like show the little details, because I actually do have like really detailed art, which I need to work on, so I don't have like, you know, I don't have to draw crazy detailed designs for every single time, because like I said, I do want to make this into a comic, so I don't want to have to like draw an insanely detailed character 1,000 times just over and over and over again. Sorry if I just like stop talking. I'm trying to concentrate so I don't like go over into lines that I don't need to go over into, because I want this to be as clean as possible. Okay. I need a small brush. Oh yeah, also, I was gonna say this, that I probably am not going to be on Instagram a lot because 21 Pilots are releasing a new album very soon, in like less than a week, and they had a listening party for it yesterday, listening parties for it yesterday, and I did not go, and so I don't want to see any spoilers for the new album. on Instagram or any sort of social media. I don't want it ruined for me. So I'm probably not gonna be as active on, you know, social media as I'm not active on social media a whole lot anyway, but I probably need to get out of that habit. I probably need to start posting more. But anyway, I'm not going to be like hours on end on Instagram for probably a week. So, you know, just for safety reasons. But I think when this dries, I'm gonna go over. Oh, it's already kind of dry. I'm gonna go ahead and draw. Okay, there's my Desu. And Eric's. Okay, so I'm probably going to put the time lapse of Niccolo later, after this whole thing. So I'm probably gonna do a voiceover for him also. He doesn't have a lot of lore either, but and then probably next week I'm gonna do the girls, Dasa, Morgan, and Emery. Emery doesn't have a lot of lore either. That's the thing, I just came up with Emery. Anyway, so I'm going to go now and I'm gonna do the voiceover, so bye. Okay, so I'm just started out with the sketch, but Niccolo is another werewolf, and so Eric's kind of takes Niccolo under his wing and they become like almost brothers basically, because they're very close. They both have that connection of the werewolf thing, but he became kind of like the man of the household when he was very young, and he kind of like his father wasn't around a lot, so he had to do stuff by himself, all that kind of stuff. So he started like doing weird jobs, and Morgan actually started to work for Niccolo and doing stuff like that, and that's how they met. And Morgan, afterward, it's kind of hard because I don't want to spoil anything with Morgan, but Morgan was also wanted, so she and Niccolo kind of left, and they got captured by Harlow, and that's how they met Eric's, who saved them. But also, before he met Morgan, he also, when his parents kind of found out that he was a werewolf when he got turned, they kind of didn't deal with it in a very good way, so they locked him up a lot, they mistreated him kind of, and one day he got out and he accidentally killed a little girl, and that kind of hangs with him a lot. Nobody knows, like, none of the group kind of like knows his past. He doesn't talk about his past at all, and so he just kind of like lets it, whatever, he just kind of doesn't talk about himself a lot, except to Morgan. Him and Morgan kind of have a very different relationship. Morgan is kind of snappy at everybody, but she's kind of not with Niccolo. You know, she's less snappy with Niccolo than with the others. And so, I can see that the, speed paint is already done, so I'm gonna try to wrap this up very quickly. But, you know, they become close, and they fall in love, all that kind of stuff. But I will talk more about that in the next video with Morgan and all the other girls. So, that's it. Thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button and like it and comment. But, I need to work on like a snappy outro for this channel, obviously. So, yeah, thank you for watching. Bye. See you next week with the next video.